Bow season, I'm out doing me. I'm grinding. I'm trying to sell farms. I'm managing farms. I'm doing all these things, and I'm trying to find me that special deer. Well, this is one of those first years for me that I haven't had one of those deer that I had history with, that I've had pattern, that I've had dialed in. It was one of those years I was just going to go put some time in, and hopefully a good deer showed up. So it just turned August here in southern Iowa. I got this fence here, I got the bedding behind me over here, and this is a little kill strip, I call it. You bubble the deer in between the bedding and the fence, and it's going to bring the deer within that 30-yard shot. I'm going to have my tree stand up here on the edge. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Well, there she is. I worked it earlier this year. I come in and I mowed it. The ground I knew was already been worked before, so I come in here, it was a little green, but that tiller just turned it like butter. You know, and I'm doing a couple things here when I'm turning that grass in. I'm putting nitrogen back in the soil. That green grass puts nitrogen back in the soil, and it puts organic matter back in the soil. It just makes a better seed bed, and it helps the ground hold moisture. We seeded it, we drug it. You know, it's an awesome spot between, you know, this fence in the bedding area. You know, these deer are just going to funnel through here. It's perfect, man. I can't wait till this fall. It's a beautiful day in southern Iowa. It's 53 degrees out. We got a west wind at about 12 miles an hour, a little windy. And it's October 16th. So here's the deal. I was hunting with Matt last night up on a ridge, super windy and cold. And the whole time my phone's going off, there's deer at this farm. It's in a bottom. And I kind of put a food plot in there. It didn't come out very good because we were in a drought this fall and we didn't get a lot of rain on it. Well, a couple days ago I hauled a blind in there on a wagon and I set it up. Because in this bottom, the wind was swirling. I had a stand. I hunted it once. The first night was okay. The second night it was swirling. And I spooked a shooter. He was a big deer. He was in front of me 50 yards. And every other deer that come out that night spooked was not a good situation. So I fixed the problem. I put a blind in there. Last night on camera, a big deer come out in daylight, in shooting light, and would have been standing in front of this blind. It happened last night, and I seen the picture as I'm standing in that tree filming Matt last night. So not only that, there was a shooter in there 3 nights before that. So out of the last 3 nights, there was 2 shooters in there, and I have not sat in this blind. Going in, it's almost 4 o'clock. I would have rather been in the blind by 3:30, so I'm late. I already had a picture pop up. There's a deer in the food plot right now, a doe, a young doe. But the CRP grass is so tall, I'm hoping that I can just ninja in there. So that's what's going on. Heading in, see what happens. Ground, and these bucks started hitting it. So I'm hunting this spot, and these bucks are showing up, and I'm trying to self-film out of a blind with a bow, and I just can't get the bow drawn and get the camera turned and get one of these deer shot out the windows. So who do I call? I call Steve Noble. I said, can you help me? He's like, I got you. I'm sending Melissa. She's bringing the camera, and we're going to jump in the blind together, and she's going to help you out.
I kind of feel like I know that. But when it first came out, it was, you know.
So me and Melissa, we jump on my Quiet Cat. We're riding out. We slip into this blind, and what do you know? Here they come. I got these bucks coming in, and they're regular. They're 4 bucks. They're big deer. In my mind, I only feel like one of them's mature. They're some really good 4-year-olds, and there's one 5-year-old, a big 10. He walks out. He's the dominant deer. I know he is, and I'm just going to try to get a shot at that one deer.
So the big 10 just stepped in the field. He's right over here. He's with another big buck. I really need to get him here in front of me. I don't know if that's going to happen. There's does right here to my right, so I'm hoping that buck comes out and comes over here. Check these does. If that happens, we'll be doing all right. I gotta look at his body.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's the big 10. Look at, he's just a freaking hammer. That buck wants nothing to do with him. I'm waiting for the other one to show up now. There's still 2 more we need to come to the party. No, I wouldn't kill the one closest to us.
No, I mean the one over there. Look at that screen.
That's the 10. That's the big one I want to kill.
Okay. He is a tank.
He's the king. So like right now, I could get in position to shoot. It's 50 yards. Oh, somebody. Yeah, that's good. In the field. He'll bring us up here again. He's with another big buck. I really need to get him here in front of me. I don't know if that's gonna happen. There's does right here to my right, so I'm hoping that buck comes out and comes over here. We're still missing 2 bucks to the party.
So I look at Melissa, and I said, here he comes. He's going to walk broadside 30 yards. Get ready. And I look over. She's on it. She's doing her thing. I pull my bow back, and I let her rip.
Mer.
Well, you guys seen it. I dropped the ball. Melissa did her job. I didn't do mine. It's bow hunting. I'm just glad I didn't wound that deer. Clean miss. I'm going to keep grinding. So after that shot, I went and got my arrow. Clean miss. And I kept on grinding. We got on a new farm, and I do the same thing. I'm going out there blind. I find the best tree. I hang a stand, and I'm going to put some time in the stand, and hopefully one of these great deer show up. Well, I'm walking into a new farm. First time I've ever bow hunted it. I've had control of the farm for 2 years, and getting in kind of late, but we're going to the tree. We just drove a ways to get here. So hopefully it'll pay off. Pretty jacked up.
So I'm in this tree, and it's not too bad. If something comes on the CRP back behind me, they're probably gonna bust, but in the last 2 deer seasons I've been running cameras. Those deer have come right out of that opening, heading right out to this bean field. They've been right there in daylight around the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th of October. 26 today, so it's that window where these deer have showed up right there in daylight. They've been big deer. Actually, today's the 27th, so. Today's October 27th. It's cold, high pressure. Last time I was here and checked the camera, there wasn't a big deer out. But the past years, there wasn't a big deer living here either, but they passed through during this week. So I told myself I made it a priority that I was going to come sit this farm this week and see if a random buck showed up. My first time I bow hunted it.
Farm, I jump in the stand, it's a beautiful set, and I made up my mind. It's not about inches this year. It's about the thrill of the hunt, getting back to my roots and getting after a great deer. He's coming in, he gets me jacked up, and I don't think about the rack. I don't think about inches. I feel like I need to get back to me.
Well, I'm in the stand. I just looked over and I spotted a doe working through the grass, going through the edge. It's pretty cool out here. They just pop up out of nowhere. There's a buck.
So I look over, this deer, he's coming at me. I could tell he's an old warrior. He's limping, he's beat up. I could see one of his eyes are gouged out. This is the deer that I've been waiting for. So here comes this deer. It's perfect. He's walking right broadside in my shooting lane. I pull back and I let it rip. I feel like I make a great shot and the deer runs off and stands there. So what you're seeing is my GoPro footage. For some reason, my Sony, my video camera, I was running it. The footage didn't get transferred. Rookie mistake. So I got my GoPro footage. You see me cock another arrow, pull back, and I make a second shot on that deer, and he runs off through the screen, and he dies within 50 yards. Call my boy Matt up. He comes for the recovery. We load him up in the truck. Iowa bow season, my buck kill, awesome experience. It was what I needed to get back on track. Didn't go far. Southern Iowa frame. The old deer been fighting. He been hurting. Like I said, his eyes gouged right out. He come in limping, like he must have some puncture wounds too. Like I said, one of the first times I've went to the woods and on a farm I didn't know and hung a stand, and I didn't know what was there for deer, and just getting a stand and hope for the best and see what comes by. You know, it's been a long time since I did that, and I was super pumped to get back to my roots on that one.